This outstanding private footage showing a forward Luftwaffe airbase was taken in the summer of 1941 and fits in nicely with today's video. In part 8 in the series, covering letters and diary entries from this wonderful book, we'll follow an HE-111 crew member from Kampfgeschwader, or Bomber Wing 55, who took part in the August 6, 1941 bombing raid on Moscow. In addition to rare film footage, I'll use an OKW situational map to give context to his story. At the end of the video, I'll show more from that private reel. So stick around, it's worth it. You can find today's text on page 114 in the book, if you haven't got it yet. The pinned link in the comments section will get you to it. It really is worth getting. With the German Army's quick advance into the Soviet Union, in July, the 55th Bomber Wing was transferred to airfields farther to the east, which allowed striking targets far behind enemy lines, including Moscow. This is the original war atlas for the German High Command for Operation Barbarossa. We are looking at the situational map for August 6, 1941. The Bomber Wing's most forward airfield was situated in Smolensk, only about 20 kilometers from the heavily contested front, and 400 kilometers from Moscow. Key targets during the August 6th Moscow bombing raid were factories associated to the Soviet aircraft industry. At this point in the war, the 55th Bomber Wing was made up of a headquarters unit, or stab, and 4 bomber groups. Each group was made up of 3 squadrons containing 12 aircraft each. In this interesting clip, we see a number of Hilfsfreiwillige, or Hiwis, which were Russian POWs that were willing to do physical labor for the Germans in exchange for better living conditions. Much of the road work in occupied territory was done, for example, by groups of organized Hiwis. This is a good time for me to thank my Patreon supporters. They get regular access to exclusive footage that can't be shown here. Go to military1945.com and open a free account to see an example of the footage. You won't be sorry, I promise. As the formation flew over the front, they gained a bird's eye view of the intense combat taking place below. Just as we are flying along the edge of the Moscow cauldron, still rather hazy with cloud, dozens of powerful light sources flare up down below. Searchlights spin the red capital into a gigantic net intended to ensnare our HE-111. For several seconds, the white light, after restless searching, licks the belly of the bomber, but is unable to hang on to it. The red gunners put up an iron curtain barricade for a multitude of flak barrels. No matter, we penetrated. Now we are above the city precincts. Moscow has already received heavy blows. 3 large fields of fire are the result of the first contingent of high explosive and incendiary bombs that are to fall in their tens of thousands over the course of the night. In one of these fields, 8 large fires are raging. That was where the first heavy caliber bombs struck. Direct hit to the center of the aircraft industry and to the support firms. We can orientate ourselves well by the 2 large loops of the Moskva River, which comes from the southwest and reaches right up to the edge of the city. We now know where the Kremlin is. Circling, we see barrage balloons like big, black ghost creatures swooping past us, lightning fast. We observe the impact of incendiary and high-explosive bombs from other bomber aircraft in the airspace above Moscow, until Lieutenant Milius has his target directly in his sights. Now our heavy bomb is also falling, and the incendiary bombs follow immediately afterwards, causing new destruction. We turn back on a homeward course, but have to break through the heavy flak curtain again, which is directed at us, or perhaps even at the next wave of bombers. And now, here's more of that private footage reel. Use the QR code to get to our website and open a free account. If you'd like to see the other parts to this series, which are really good, click on this link. Patreon members get regular access to exclusive film footage. If you like this kind of material, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thanks for watching.